shattered there, doesn't he? Caked in sweat, and he was clearly working very, very hard behind the wheel, because it's been a warm day here at Hungary. It's hot in the cockpits, and the physical exertion required to race to that sort of pace is quite something. Although Alvaro Barber looks like he's barely broken sweat.
The technical information: we have found the briefcase of Mr. Vincent Barrow. We have found the briefcase of Mr. Vincent Barrow.
Extra energy, I guess, but no, he's very happy and sure he should be. Great effort. But again, I think the top 5, top 6 guys today all showed an incredibly high standard, and great racing once again.
Well, let's have a look at the highlights of the race, which was almost really the whole 50 minutes. It was very, very tight into the first corner, and Matteo Malicelli held his nerve as Jimmy Bruni and Emanuele Moncini tried to squeeze through. But once Malicelli had got the advantage, he pulled away. It was Federico Leo, of course, who started the Ferrari. Moncini then made that error, which promoted Nick Tandy up into third position, that leading trio of Malicelli, Leo and Tandy fought all the way as Martin Lansing was an unfortunate early casualty, and the race won with it. Miguel Ramos also having a scary moment, although it was equally scary for Andrea Rizzoli. He was confronted by a sideways Corvette. Daniel Roos put in a star drive in the Schubert Motorsport BMW Z4. We certainly look forward to seeing more of that car at Monza and in Barcelona, as the fight in the GTS class was equally as close as the one in the Super GT class. This was the battle between Andrea Rizzoli and Michael Dalla Stella, as they also tried to prize their way past Ramon Narak. So we hit the pit window, and it was an extra 30 seconds in the pits for Federico Leo and Jimmy Bruni. Bruni hopped in as Stefano Catuzzo elbowed his way into the lead of the GTS class. Marco Mappelli slithering across the gravel trap. So the race leader was in. Matteo Malicelli hands over to Alvaro Barber as Rafael Gianmaria put together a storming drive up through the field, eventually bringing that car home in 12th position. Difficult weekend, though, for the DriveX Porsche. Spin for Miguel Amaral and an early retirement for them. Jimmy Bruni then did what Jimmy Bruni does best, surged up through the field, overtook 3 cars on one lap at the start of his stint. As we moved later into the race, Andrea Monterni closed onto the tail of Alvaro Barber, but it was Alvaro Barber who withstood the pressure and came through to claim his 3rd victory of what has been a wonderful season for the International GT Open, and what has been a super 100 races. And all credit to Jesus Pereira and his very, very hard-working team for all the work that they have done to establish the International GT Open as such a popular and exciting championship. The Italian national anthem then played in honour of the winning team, Velois Racing, and celebrating on the podium, Alvaro Barber and Matteo Malicelli on the top step, 2nd on the rostrum, Juan Manuel Lopez and Andrea Monterni, and 3rd place for Emanuele Moncini and Diederik Schütthoff. And this is the beauty of this championship, Tommy. 3 different marks on the rostrum.
Absolutely, great to see that. You know, it's so often you see a certain mark leading a championship, dominating a series, and it's again, as you say, credit to Jesus Pereira and his team for creating a championship where all the marks can really run at the front. Clearly, their system of handicap in the pits works very, very well. It may, you know, maybe some people will get frustrated by it. Obviously, of course, you know, some people are saying that the Aston is too quick down the straight, and the Porsche obviously perhaps not going as well as they could do, but anyway, it's a good balanced field.
It's wonderful there to see Jesus Pereira presenting the trophies to the winning drivers on the podium. Well, it's a very special weekend for the International GT Open. There's been lots of celebrations. I suspect the celebrations are going to go on long into the night. Some delighted drivers on the podium, and this is why people like yourself, Tommy, go motor racing, because on a day like today, the sun's out, and they had immense fun and gave us such entertainment.
Yes, great racing, both races, really, yesterday and today, absolutely high standard of driving. I can't wait for Monza, really. There'll be a cracking race, completely different type of track. But yes, the future looks bright, I think, for this series. Certainly, I think the best grid in terms of GT2, GT3 cars that I can see in Europe or elsewhere.
I completely agree. It really is a wonderful championship, and one that has had its first visit to the Hungarian as an astonishing success. We've seen two utterly brilliant races over the course of this weekend, and I'm sure that Monza in 3 weeks' time will be equally entertaining as we enjoy seeing some of these cars running in super slow motion. As it's time now for the GTS podium, and first of all, third is Stefano Gattuso and Marco Zanartuni. And Gattuso, well, a word about him, because his performance at the first half of the race, for somebody who's not been in the championship all year, absolutely brilliant. Daniel Zampieri and Michael Dalla Stella, an excellent second. And then Lorenzo Bontempelli single-handedly taking the car to the class victory. He is overjoyed with that.
So he should be. Great effort, and he still has enough energy to jump as high as he did just there on the podium. And yeah, it's a great drive for Bontempi, and going to his home race next, full of confidence.
Yeah, Lorenzo Bontempelli, one of the most effervescent and popular characters in the paddock as well. He utterly adores his racing, and he will be grinning all the way back home to Italy tonight after that performance. Gets handshake and the trophy from Jesus Pereira, and also from Bromborough Racing as well. A very fine performance. They get the trophy, and then it's time for them to reach for the champagne. So it's going to be a short pause for the International GT Open, which will reconvene at Monza on the last weekend of September, where we will be in for, I'm sure, some very, very close and entertaining racing there. Very, very different characteristics on the 29th and 30th of September at Monza. Join us live on www.live.gtopen.net then. But from Tommy Erdos and myself, Ben Evans, here at the Hungarian Ring, it's time to say goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks'